Welcome to the presentation about XML. Actually, this presentation is all about the contribution of extensible markup language towards the field of business. This is actually done for an assignment by a group of 6 third-year students at SLIIT for the subject Programming Languages Design Concepts. This is the list of the names of our group members. So first of all, we'll just take a look at all the markup languages in general. What is a markup language? Actually, markup languages are very important when it comes to web developing and also web programming. Especially in the modern day, a lot of tasks are done by the internet or World Wide Web, and definitely the web programming and development technologies become very important. Markup languages are some such technologies which play a very significant role in the field of this upcoming emerging web technology. Actually, markup languages enable you to decide your contents in a way that is independent of hardware, software, format, and also of the operating system. Markup language documents are interchangeable between tools and systems. Some examples for markup languages are XML, that is Extensible Markup Language, HTML, Hypertext Markup Language, and also the XML. Although it's not very commonly used nowadays, we must always remember that XML, something called XML was there sometime back. And XML stands for Structured Standardized Generalized Markup Language. Now the basic of a markup language is an element. When you talk about the structure or the format of the markup language, this element becomes very important. These elements grouped together form a hierarchical structure in the format of the language. This structure contains of root elements, parent elements, child elements, and sibling elements. As the name indicates, you can understand that root elements can be considered as the key element of any structure regarding XML. Now, the parent elements are actually ancestors of child elements, and the child elements are ancestors of the parents. Sibling elements are elements which are in the same level. Now, actually, when we talk about a hierarchical structure, we can just imagine that there are several levels of elements, and the names which are given to these several levels are indicated in these 4 points down here: root elements, parent elements, child elements, and also sibling elements. Now, this is a brief history of XML. Actually, Standard Generalized Markup Language (SGML) was adopted as an international standard, ISO 8879, in 1986. SGML was all about documents. Main purpose of this was to create an abstraction of data. Now, in the mid-90s, 1990s, Hypertext Markup Language HTML was developed from XML. Actually, the intention of this was to overcome the drawbacks and the limitations of XML. But gradually we realized that HTML also has many limitations which are needed to be considered and which should be overcome. The major factor of this is that HTML marks data as a very simple format-oriented concept. Examples as headings, lists, and paragraphs. So therefore, we need something beyond that. Extensible markup language was provided as a great solution for this problem. This was developed from HTML to overcome the drawbacks of the previous markup language as well as HTML. But XML actually has a narrower scope. Therefore, lighter weight processors and parsers could be utilized to serve up content via the internet and other venues. This is a great advantage. and this advantage was not there in the previous markup languages. Now we will just take a look at the major characteristics. Characteristics can be many in XML, but we will just take a brief look at the key factors. Straightforwardly usable over the internet. It supports a wide variety of applications. Compatible with HTML, it's a very important factor. Easy to write programs that process XML documents. Minimum number of optional features. Ideally, it should be 0, but according to the necessity, it can extend, but it should always be somewhere very close to 0. A very important great advantage is that XML is legible and clear for humans. Most of the computer languages are not so. So this is a very special feature. Formal and concise design. Easy to create documents. Can design quickly. Terseness in XML markup is of minimal importance. Any implementation requires management of documents to retrieve, reuse, and recombine data objects. Now this statement is satisfied up to the fullest by XML. And this is also a perfect use for XML. The crystal software is required in order to work with XML. The possible uses of XML are endless, and new applications are being added all the time. Mathematics markup language (MML) can be used in any field where mathematical operations are required. MML can be used where websites are needed to be developed, which should be operated as mathematical calculators, where we need to act as mathematical calculators. For such instances, MML becomes very important. It actually can create calculators in the web pages with its unique technology. That's just one example. Some of such applications contributing in the fields of business and biology will be coming up next. Now for business. XML QL. It's a very important technology. It is XML query language actually. This is very important and useful when designing databases and working with database related business activities. And OFC, Open Financial Exchange Specification. This is very important and useful when dealing with computerizing financial activities. Now for biology. BSML, Bioinformatics Sequence Markup Language. This provides great benefits for the field of biotechnology. Now CML. Similarly, a similar benefit is provided to the field of chemical science. This is actually chemical markup language in the same way that BSML contributes towards biology, CML contributes greatly towards the chemical field. And health level 7, HL 7. This is actually widely used, especially in developed countries such as USA. We find many hospitals using this technology. This technology can be used to develop many applications and programs and also software which are capable of storing all the